read those Doolittle reviews?
Yeah.
They're pretty good. They're a good one. Yeah, this is going to hurt Universal. This is Universal did Cats.
Ooh.
And now they're putting this thing out. And it is getting, these reviews are going to hurt it. They're that bad. They're terrible.
Yeah, we were just reading some
What
of
is
the
it you
paper
talking about
data.
they're just putting out?
Doolittle.
What, they got like 10% fresh or something like, I mean, it was something like really.
Was at a 26 on Metacritic.
Wow.
Morgan Stern gave what, a 20, I think, or 10 or a 20. Rolling Stone gave him a 20. There were a couple zeros.
Whoa.
Everyone's just like, and they all seem shocked. There's like, how did Robert Downey Jr. make such a bad movie? They don't even get it. They said, the talent's all there.
Robert Downey Jr. is just the wrong actor for that part.
Well, I guess it had something to do with the making of it too. Production, on the production end. And he's gonna be back in Iron Man. He's gonna have to get his money back.
I see in today's paper you gave thumbs up for 1917, no?
I did.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
gonna go see that today.
I still want to see Star Wars.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so you say.
I saw Star Wars.
So you
I
say.
saw Star Wars. You know what Star Wars was? The whole episode, the whole series was nothing but a family feud.
So Montagues and the Capulets. The Montagues and the Capulets.
Yeah.
The Skywalkers are dysfunctional.
Let the Wookiee win. Here we go.
Alright.
We ask that you please just call once per show so everyone has a chance to participate. Thanks and welcome to
Rim Country Forum today being brought to you by the Dana Law Group, Sunshine Cleaning and Restoration, At Your Service Cleaning and Tree Service, Hospitality Wireless, Damn Good Flooring, Anytime Fitness, Choice Auto and Truck, and Holiday Cruises and Tours. It's 5 minutes past 9 o'clock, it's 40 degrees, and it's Friday. That means, yep, it's time for your hometown movie guys. Tina, Craig, and Andy with us in the studio, telling us everything that's going on at the Sawmill Theaters and ever so much more. Got some interesting flicks playing this week too. We're going to find out more about that right now. And good morning to the movie guys. How y'all doing this morning?
PG.
PG.
Is there any way that we can make that fanfare louder, more dramatic,
Dun, 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 dun.
more
It
bombastic?
needs to reach tunnel base.
Well, I think what it is see, you need to contribute more. We all need to just sing along with it next week. How's that sound?
Okay, I'm up for
Oh,
that.
yeah. No, don't let him.
I'll give you a week to work on the harmonies.
Yeah, don't let him do it.
Bum,
Don't let
bum,
him-
bum, bum.
We need our own band, like the Tonight Show or something.
Oh,
Set them up in the background over
Get
here.
my buddy John Carpino to come in.
Oh,
Here we
do
go.
it,
that'd be
do
great.
it.
That could be good. Well, anyway, so
A country version of our theme.
that's right. We got some interesting things going on at the Sawmill Theaters this week. As a matter of fact, of course, let's take it in reverse order. Jumanji is still playing, and that's rated PG-13. Plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. How's that been doing locally?
It's done really good.
Really?
It's still hanging in there.
Yeah?
It came out on December 13th.
Back on the 13th?
And,
Wow.
and still, it's not selling out or anything, but still doing numbers.
And what about nationally and stuff like that, and the money stuff?
Intergalactically?
Intergalactically.
Yeah, no, this is a money-making machine here, this Jumanji is. And it's fun to watch. I mean, if the people out there that haven't gone to see it, I mean, it's not a serious movie. It's just kind of fluffy and fun and lots of action and has The Rock and, we like that. But they spent a lot of money to make it, $125 million. And it's brought in worldwide $674 million at the box office.
Well, so they're in a good return on investment there.
Absolutely. When you make a movie that people like to see, it's worth the effort to do it.
Yeah.
If you make a movie that people don't want to see, oh my goodness, could you get a hole in your pocketbook in a hurry?
And we may talk about
You
that
mean
in a little
like,
bit.
I have something to say about Jumanji, which I forgot to say last week.
Okay.
I'm so, okay,
Can you say it?
I'll try. I am sad that they feel the need to put in swear words to a movie that is really geared for, families.
Right.
I
I
was
agree with you
kind
on
of,
that kind of thing.
became real sensitive during the watching of the movie And I'm like, okay, did you need to do that? Did you need to say,
You know, a war battle scene or something like that, I could see that because, I mean, that's the kind of things that happen when people are freaked out. But yeah, I mean, anymore, it seems like, you know, you got to dump out to using profanity or you got to have, you know, certain bathroom humor and stuff like that. And I think most of us really don't give a darn about that.
well, and also my heart goes out to all the teachers who are in, you know, elementary, middle, and high school who are at the effect of this loosening of the tongue. So, you know, you go to the campuses sometime and you know, everybody does their best, but, you know, the kids just walk around and it's blue, the air is blue, and every other word is F and S and, you know, and C and whatever. And it's just, I feel that the movies are not helping that at all. And that was one of my big
And I
critics.
think maybe some of them think that that adds to the comedy of it, and I think it detracts.
Yeah. I mean,
They're
go back
aiming the
to-
movie
you
at
go-
those kids.
Go back to good comedy back in the day before these things were permitted, and they did much better. You know, even, I mean, you look at Eddie Murphy. I'm just on an Eddie Murphy kick this week. I love Eddie Murphy.
Now, of course, you know, he always had a little bit of profanity in some of his movies.
Well, in the comedy and stuff, but you know, if you go back to him in Saturday Night Live,
Right.
you know, the golden age, I call it, you know, when he and Gilda Radner and Chevy Chase and John Belushi. Well, John Belushi, we know how he was off screen, but seriously, he was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And
true.
there was so much funniness without that kind of thing. So,
So there you have it.
yeah,
Cut the
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Okay, move on.
Hey, well, you know, we were talking about Jumanji, definitely on the profit side. Now, let's talk about underwater. Sorry. The movie Underwater, a crew of aquatic researchers work to get to safety after an earthquake devastates their laboratory, but the crew has more than the ocean seabed to fear. It's rated PG-13, plays at 1:30, 4:30, and 7:30. Locally, how's this one been doing?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
It's not really what I call a pacing movie,
Right?
but it's done decent. It's done decent. It's a PG-13, but it's just kind of a sci-fi horror movie.
Right, right.
And then if you're into that stuff, it looks pretty good.
And financially, Andy, what has this been doing much?
It's underwater.
How appropriate. So not
Get
too
on the scuba gear.
Yeah, this is 2 movies in a row for Kristen Stewart that have been absolute bombs. She was the leading actress in Charlie's Angels. That just was awful, and nobody wanted to see it.
Yeah, I heard they made another movie about that.
Yeah.
Which you haven't seen, which I haven't seen. So.
Yeah, and so that kind of stirred my interest, and so I looked up Kristen Stewart to see, you know, she's a young actress, I think she's just 29, see if she would be able to survive in her career with having 2 such horrible movies back to back. Sometimes that'll just flip the switch.
I'm gonna hire her.
Yeah.
She's the Twilight.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But boy, she has done a ton of stuff. She's a hardworking actress. She typically will do 3 or 4 movies a year, and has been doing it for a long time. As young as she is, she's got a huge list. And in 2 different years, in 2010 and 2012, in each of those 2 years, she was the highest paid actress in the world.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
I didn't either. So, and I didn't realize that she had such a big list. So, chances are that she will survive this.
Very interesting. Well, now another movie that's been playing for a few weeks now is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. The surviving resistance faces the First Order once more in the final chapter of the Skywalker saga. Now, this is rated PG-13. It plays at 1 and 4:15 and 7:30. The 4:15 showing, by the way, is still in 3D. And I'm sure this has been doing pretty good here, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's tapered off now, of course. You know, it's,
Right.
December 20th. This one came out.
Right. So it's what, about a
Another
month on that then.
Is it the 4th or 5th movie from 1919 or 2019 that brought Disney $1 billion?
Wow.
So yeah, they've done quite well with it. And yeah, like I said, I really like this one.
Right.
This was a fitting ending to the series.
Right. And Tina, did you see this?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. You do go to the movies once in a while.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, you liked this one, didn't you?
I loved it. I thought it was great, yeah.
And Andy, what was your opinion?
Oh, I liked it, maybe not quite as much as Greg did, but I liked it a lot. And more importantly, did I like it or didn't I like it? I thought it was a fitting culmination to this absolutely spectacular, incredible series of 9 films. It's just, George Lucas is one of the smartest people ever, and certainly one of the smartest people in movie making in my lifetime.
And the first one came out 43 years ago.
1977, whenever that was.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that I've been harping on this the last couple of weeks, the fact that he could think up, 9 different episodes of this thing and bouncing back and forth between, oh, this one happened before that one and all that, and thought that all up, and now 43 years later, we're finally seeing the 9th and final episode is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing, and how he can keep all of that stuff on track in his head. And we brought back Billy D. Williams for this one.
Oh, is that right?
After 36 years, he reprises his role as Landau Caldassian.
Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah, this was quite a vision really to lay all that stuff out. And you look at this series, how many books they've written, that kind of diverge from the whole thing, but the marketing and everything, the toys, and this has just been a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
It's amazing. And again, you can see that, hanging on to that for another week or so, or?
Yeah, we'll see. Actually, next week we got Richard Jewell. A lot of people have been asking about that
Yes.
one. We do have that for the 24th.
Right?
Which I have seen,
Is that right?
yes.
So we'll be getting rid of one next week, but we'll just kind of look at the lowest one and get rid of that.
Very cool. Now, another one that's been,
I think I know which one it might be.
Yeah, what a
It
guess.
might be underwater.
might be one that's underwater.
Well, I say, Jumanji's kind of, Jumanji's been here for 6 weeks, so it is kind of dropping off. And Star Wars too is really slowing
You can
down.
always bring cats back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
So,
happen. Hey, now, one that I'm anxious to talk about, because I noticed in today's Pacing Roundup that, Andy, you had written a rather stellar review on, is a movie that has 10 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. It's 1917. 2 young British privates during World War I must deliver a message deep in enemy territory that will stop 1,600 men from walking straight into a deadly trap. Now, this is rated R. It plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. And you like this?
What I really like is you calling my review a stellar review. I couldn't agree with you more, Randy. Once again, you and I are absolutely on the same page.
It must be our equal levels of modesty or something. But what was it you liked most about this?
Well, what makes this movie important and interesting, above the ordinary, is they do the whole thing in one shot.
And you mentioned that last week, and I find that fascinating, having done a little bit of camera work and stuff like that. I mean, to think about how to do, what is this, hour and a half, 2-hour movie, something like that?
Yeah.
And just one ongoing moving the camera around.
Yeah, for one thing, that technically, and Don Klein helped me understand this. They have cameras. Don, why don't you just tell us?
Well, it's called a Steadicam.
Steadicam.
Yeah, it's a person carrying a camera system, and the view of the camera is just rock solid.
Okay.
And
We need to get
they
a
introduced them-
microphone back in the corner so we can actually hear Don.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But we don't have one.
Yeah, it was a great thing when it came in, because all that jerkiness of handheld stuff
Mhm.
became possible to smooth out.
Right.
And you could still have handheld, stuff, but this invention, don't ask me how it works.
Oh, it's
It's
actually,
above my pay grade. but-
they have well, I mean, even they've put this down into almost consumer grade stuff now with the Osmo cameras and stuff, where you have a gimbaled axis and then also what they call a Z-axis.
Right.
So you can walk with the camera and you don't get all of the
That jerkiness.
bouncy up and
Yeah.
down stuff.
They introduced this device at one of the Oscar presentations many years ago.
Right.
Right.
And they showed the picture of a cameraman who was running down a bunch of steps, like a
Right.
bleacher steps.
Right.
And it showed the picture from the camera, and it was solid, all the way down. It's
Yeah.
perfectly smooth.
It's amazing.
It's quite a bit the same, and the same kind of gimbaled access on my on drone. I mean, you can be up flying in wind and be, you know, the drone itself being pitched around a little bit, and it's still nice and smooth.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
And one of the things about 1917 was most interesting to me was the fact that not only was it all in one shot from all different directions, but you never saw another camera in the picture either. I don't know how they did that.
That's pretty amazing. You know, I think you know, folks that are into movie making, filmmaking, things like that will tell you that really there shouldn't be any movement that isn't there for a reason. And with the new Steadicams and that type of technology, it really helps with that a bunch. And so this you really like the way this was shot.
Well, for that reason alone, you should go out and see. I mean, we're talking to movie people here. The people that listen to this program are people that enjoy movies and understand movies and relish movies and dig movies, and they should go out and see this just for that. You know, it's like when the first talkie came out. You know, you want to go see because it's new, because this is something that nobody's ever done before. And what amazed me more than after Don explained to me how that camera worked. What amazed me was these guys could remember their lines for the whole movie. You know, how in the world? I mean, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, you don't want to say cut on a movie like that.
No.
Yeah, interesting. Well, again, I think you're right.
And aside from that, you know, the young actors did a really good job of being scared to death privates or corporals, whatever they were, on this very dangerous mission.
Okay. Well, we have to take a fast break, and I think Andy's right, though. I think a lot of our listeners do relish this type of thing.
They are aficionados.
And not only do they relish it, but when we come back, we're going to catch up on some of the other movies playing at the Sawmill Theaters and see if we can't muster up some other ideas. So we'll get to that right after this.
Not this week because we don't have time, but we really need to start thinking about talking about the Oscars.
Okay.
Because they did the nominations.
Right.
And one of them is The Irishman, which is already on Netflix. I mean, I heard it was
It's an issue.
yeah.
That was, that was that whole, Ricky Gervais, that's one of the things he was talking about, if ISIS started a streaming service,
Yep.
you'd all have your agents calling,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what they are doing, they jump to Netflix.
Yeah.
And then they kind of, and Martin Scorsese, some of these directors support the theaters, and I feel they're kind of gave up on us a little bit with The Irishman.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've heard, I haven't watched it yet.
Who stars in that?
Oh,
Everybody.
Robert De Niro.
I mean,
Joe
who is
Pesci, Joe Pesci,
right,
important?
right.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. I mean, it's,
Directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
It was.
But I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to.
Everyone said it's amazing. They really said it is
Here we go.
3 hours
All
long.
right, I've heard amazing things.
Welcome back to Rim Country Forum, 21 minutes, and after 9 o'clock, 41 degrees. Hey, coming up in the next half hour, we're going to be talking to Cindy Bryant from a Healthy Perspectives Body and Mind Wellness Center. But in our first half hour, talking to our hometown movie guys, and we've talked about Jumanji, Underwater, Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, 1917, all playing at the Sawmill Theaters this week. And that 1917, again, has 10 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. And aside from that, 2 other movies playing that I think start today. Bad Boys for Life. This is just starting today, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. And this movie, Bad Boys, Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett are back together for one last ride in the highly anticipated Bad Boys for Life. It's rated R, plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. And what do we know about this one so far?
It's Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Right.
The third in the series, the Bad Boys movies. They came out a while back now, but they were very successful. Kind of a cop buddy movie comedy.
I was going to say, got to be kind of comedy with those
definitely.
two guys.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
All right. And do we know much about how much cashola was spent to produce this saga?
Yes, a stellar $90 million to
Wow.
make this movie. Cop buddy comedy should be just your cup of tea if you like cop buddy comedies. or if you just like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. But
Right.
there's nothing wrong with those guys either.
I'd like to see another Beverly Hills Cop myself, speaking of Eddie Murphy.
Yes, man, bring back Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it was good to see him on Saturday Night Live, I think last week, wasn't it?
Which I don't have TV.
What
so-
were you doing up that late?
What?
I just heard rumor that.
I suspected it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
but
think-
you know, he's in one of my favorite movies, Bowfinger. Where he
Bowfinger.
plays two parts and should have gotten an Oscar. I say this all the time.
Well, and as far as Eddie Murphy goes, the Nutty Professor, in my opinion,
yeah.
was, and the dinner,
And Dr.
the dinner
Dolittle,
table
you
scene
know?
was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the, well, and speaking of Dr. Dolittle,
Well,
Oh,
before we
speaking of.
would be remiss if, talking about Bad Boys, we didn't recommend or remember the iconic sound theme. Bad Boys, Bad
Oh.
Boys, what you gonna
do
do?
when they come for you, yeah, I like it. So they use that in this one.
And he's singing again.
No,
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I completely lost control of myself.
That is
What
likely
was
what
I
happens.
thinking? Anyway, it's terrible.
People are switching off their dials all over town.
Well, now, in at least according to some of the critics that I've been reading about, there seems to be a slight contrast between the Dr. Dolittle that Eddie Murphy starred in and the latest Dolittle, about a physician who discovers that he can talk to animals. And this has got, what's his face in it?
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. It doesn't look like and not, I mean, the critics don't always have their finger on the pulse of what's really going on. I mean, critics have sometimes panned things and the public shows up and loves it, so
Yes,
don't let
yeah.
that influence you. But the critics so far not really given this big marks.
No, we're gonna hope this is one of those cases where the critics kind of rip on it and
Right.
the public likes it, so.
Right.
Haven't got a chance to see it yet at all, but yeah, the critics were not kind to this
Well,
one.
it's rated PG. It plays at 1, 4, and 7. And Andy, is this a big dollar budget?
Oh, yeah, you bet, $175 million.
Wow, I imagine a lot of the CG character, the computerized stuff probably to make a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
when you're trying to get a polar bear's lips to match the speech,
Right.
that's really tricky. It costs a lot of money.
It takes a lot of training with those.
Takes a
polar
lot
bears,
of
too.
training.
A lot of seal meat and stuff like that. And,
But interesting, the director is a guy named Stephen Gaghan, I guess, Gaghan, Gaghan. Stephen Gaghan.
I believe that's pronounced gain.
I suffered
Is
from
it
that
Gaelic or something? Really?
I don't know, but
not
he was nominated, and he might have won, I can't remember, for writing the script for Traffic, which was
No kidding.
one of the
I love that movie.
absolutely
Yeah.
chilling, finger-biting, wonderful but terrible movies about the drug smugglers.
Right.
Yes, I agree. I like that.
Wonderful, wonderful performance, wonderful movie. And he directed and also had a hand in the script. So, just for that reason, I'm going to choose to see Doolittle rather than Bad Boys.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
And it is rated PG.
So good for the whole family.
This is a kid's movie, really,
All
I
right.
think, with lots of talking animals and stuff, so it's gonna be, if anything, it looks cute, I think the kids will like it.
Well, we need more of those kind of movies that we can take the kids to and everybody have
Sure.
some good family fun. And, with weather being as cold as it is, nice to just duck into the theater in a nice climate-controlled atmosphere, grab yourself a large popcorn and a drink and sit back and have fun with the kids.
Hey, I know we're kind of winding down here. You know what, Eminence Hill, let's talk about that real quick.
About what?
Eminence Hill, the
Oh, Eminence
western,
Hill, right,
the
right.
western, that we had the,
Wednesday
I couldn't get in.
the Oxbow outfit come out
Right.
Wednesday night, we sold out for that.
Wow,
So we are gonna do it again next Thursday.
nice.
So yeah, we're gonna do another showing on that, and we're gonna have them come back out again, and we'll do another special showing of
I
that.
saw pictures on social media of all of them in their period
yeah.
attire there in the
Yes,
lobby
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, they're gonna come back, we're gonna do it again next Thursday.
Very cool. And were they able to keep their weapons holstered and everything the whole
Yeah,
time?
you know what, they didn't bring them.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's probably a smart move.
Okay,
Oh.
and we need to talk about the faith-based movie tomorrow,
Ah.
tomorrow morning at 10, right,
Tomorrow,
Craig?
tomorrow at 10 o'clock?
And that is,
Unplanned.
Oh, that's right, that's
And
right.
Craig is being wonderful and opening 2 theaters for that. So,
Very cool.
$5 and boy, it's supposed to be very intense. I'll be there.
And I know we got a lot of
Yes, it is.
the pro-life folks that are gonna be
Yep.
out marching afterwards and everything.
That one is rated R.
It is
Yes,
rated R.
It's rated R,
I
so
imagine
don't bring the kids,
That's a tough subject, yeah.
but do come,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, we got a caller on the line and we're just about out of time. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Yeah, and Eminence Hill filmed right here in Arizona. Some scenes up here in Rim Country, others down by Benson at the Mezcal Studios down there. And I know we had some of the folks from the Oxbow outfit on the show here a while back, and they talked about how much fun it was to just be there in their period appropriate attire and walking through the same saloon doors that were used in Tombstone and other movies like that. That had to be a real kick. I think I would have loved that.
Yeah.
All right, so again, Doolittle, Bad Boys for Life, 1917, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Underwater, and Jumanji, all playing at the Sawmill Theaters. Of course, you can always find out what's playing there and when it's playing by going online to sawmilltheaters.com or calling 595-0876.
And I'd like to caution the listeners out there, when you're reading movie reviewers in other newspapers besides the Roundup.
Hold it, there's other newspapers?
When I write a review, I try to present information that will be useful for potential viewers to decide whether or not they want to see this particular movie. Other movie reviewers don't have that sentiment. They're snooty and they're rude and they're
And they do spoilers sometimes.
and they do
too,
spoilers,
yeah.
and they're city folks. And
City folks.
there's just
It's just going
They're
downhill
really
quick.
like, as the Firesign Theater used to say, the lowest form of available people.
There you have it. So go to the movies and decide for yourself.
There you go.
Check it out at the Sawmill Theaters right here in Payson. Thanks to our hometown movie guys for being with us this morning. We have to take a break and we'll be back talking with Cindy Bryant from Healthy Perspectives Body and Mind Wellness Center.